So those are returning students, welcome back. New students, welcome to Dottke. We're super excited to have you. More of how we are different. But real quick, I said I'm Greg, I'm the principal here. I have a counseling and social work background, so I'm kind of a principal. And Mr. Bruzan and I have worked tirelessly with this whole staff to try to create something really cool and different for you guys. So that's kind of what I do instead of teaching, so to speak. All right. Here's something I want you guys to realize. You all chose to be here. You could be going to any school you want in the district, right? As far as high school goes, you're assigned to a different high school. You all chose to be here. You all applied. You all interviewed. You all accepted a seat. So you guys are not stuck here. You're here because you want to be, and that's phenomenal. So that's something very different. You're all here because you want to be. That's powerful. That's going to take us to a whole nother level. Our mission for our school is to have fun, learn stuff, and create cool things. Think about that. Have fun, learn stuff, create cool things. We do PBL all day, every day, in classes, right? All day, every day. You're going to have control of your learning. Things are student-led. But I want you to recognize that first one, have fun. Learning should be fun. Looking into the camera that Dottke's doing. Learning should be fun. So at Dottke, we make learning fun. It's still going to be rigorous. We still have expectations, but we want it to be fun, because then you're engaged. So don't worry about hearing all about all these independent projects or things you're going to be doing. You're going to be highly supported. Look around. When there's 100-some students and 15 staff, do the math. You're going to have very small class sizes. You're going to have a lot of support. We guide you the whole way. You will not be sitting in a room by yourself just clueless on what to do. We'll be guiding you the whole way. All good. One of the ways we guide you is Dottke 101. And Ms. Bitters talked about it. Mr. Fromm will be teaching a section of it. Dottke 101 basically teaches you how to do school at Dottke. How we do project-based learning. Right, Collins? How we do project-based learning at Dottke High School. And so that class will help walk you through exactly all of our processes and how we do things. Here's some more things, ways we are different. Real-world experts. We don't just learn within these walls of the classrooms, you guys. Every project you do, you will have to have some type of a real-world expert. That's a community partner, a business person, someone in the community that's going to help you understand and better move forward on any project you're doing. So that's part of an expectation. But again, we will walk you through it. We'll provide all the support you need to find a real-world expert. We want you to fail. Is that right? Yes. Who thought they'd come today and see a slide where I put my own head on there that said, we want you to fail? Okay, we don't want you to fail like get F's in class, but we want you to fail like by trying something and failing, and then trying it again and failing, and then trying it again and failing less, and trying it again and failing less. We call that iterating. We want you to continue to improve and try and just go crazy, and if you fail, you try again until you succeed. Okay, so don't be confused by that failure piece. That's what we want, and we expect that. So let me be clear about that. We expect you to try things, take risks, and fail. You're going to a high school that expects you to try new things, take risks, and fail. And then we will help you and support you to improve it, get better, learn, and make it awesome. But we want you to try, and we want you to fail, and we want you to be okay with it, because you'll learn from it. Cool spaces. If we want you to create and build cool things, we have to give you spaces that you build and create cool things. So you guys have had the tour, and some of you guys are returning, so you know. So I'm going to go through these super quick. The Hub is a super collaborative, awesome, comfy place that you guys can do little small group collaborations, classes meet in there sometimes. Bert talked about her beehive. That's involved in all kinds of things, not just science and math, but also student-run businesses. They got all the honey last year out of the hive and went to the farmer's market and sold their honey and talked about the process. It was super cool. The studio is our makerspace. It is jam-packed full of cool equipment that you guys can use to build and create cool stuff. So that's the studio. All right, Phoenix Graphics. Ms. Wardlow talked about Phoenix Graphics. She runs that, the student-run t-shirt business. There's me last year, a year before, some students made a shirt. So we create shirts and work with other elementary schools, other middle schools, other people that want to order t-shirts, and we create them and provide that for them. Bike Shop, Mr. T talked about that. If you're into learning about that or the mountain bike team, talk to him. And then the Nest is a place you can find Stolpe and Fromm quite a bit. It's not just about playing music and jamming. If you're not into it, that's, or know how to play an instrument, that's okay. Because you can go there and enjoy what's going on. You can record a poem, you can turn your poem into music, you can do some beats, you can record a podcast, whatever you want. The Cove is our aquaponics lab. Again, I'm flying through these because you guys should have already gone through with your tour and seen these. Mr. Crocker runs that, and other teachers help. But that's where we're growing our own produce, which will then be used in that future kitchen you see at the bottom. So the cafeteria you guys we're in this morning, is utilized, and we can use it for serving food now, but it won't be in a month or two because they're ripping that whole place up and expanding our kitchen, so it's a restaurant-grade kitchen that will have culinary arts classes going on, taught by someone from MATC, and we'll have students from Hale and Central and Dottke converging for our culinary arts program. And we'll be using, which is cool, and harvesting the plants that we have grown, and probably even the fish, that are helping us in the Cove. And then auditorium. So we're sitting in this now. We don't do a ton of all-school activities in the auditorium, but we will do some where we have students share out. So we'll be using this. If you're someone that wants to put on a play or a musical or something, we will utilize this space. Last slide for spaces. Community Closet is a place that we've created so students and people in the community can come and get free clothing and food and backpacks and coats and shoes and hygiene products, anything they need. As students, you guys can help keep that up, and you can also help us, or you can also use that space if you want to use some of the clothes and repurpose it for some type of project you're doing. And then lastly, the set. The set's brand new, so if you're returning and you're looking at that, you may or may not recognize the set. The set's supposed to look like a talk show set, and it's a place where small groups of students and staff can go in and record, let's say, with the green screen, some form of a video. They can do podcasting, they can do all kinds of fun stuff in this. Super cool. All right, what else makes us different? Advisory. Advisory is not like Hale or Central, so if you're coming from Hale or Central and you see this advisory, you go, oh, I know what advisory is. Advisory is different here. Okay, advisory is where you go to build and create cool stuff. So you're going to learn some things in class and seminars, and then you're going to go to advisory to build and create cool stuff. So Mr. T says we do stuff to learn stuff, and that's exactly what we do at Dottke. You'll use advisory to build and create cool stuff. And again, we will be in there supporting you and helping you all along the way. Here's some cool pictures of advisory, just students doing cool stuff. So crew is different. I'm not going to get too much into it because Mr. T is going to talk about crew. Crew, for now, you guys think about crew as homeroom, but it's way more than that. It's about relationship building. It's about creating a small, tight-knit family in your own crew. You do all kinds of crew challenges. You do all kinds of neat things. Every day, you'll spend 20 minutes in crew. 20 minutes in crew. More on crew later. How else are we different by design? Okay, this is crazy off the hook. Flex 40. For those of you that were here last year, you don't even know about it because we were on COVID and we didn't have Flex 40. Here's Flex 40. Ready? I can tell you're all ready. Flex 40 is 40 minutes of flexible time for you every single day where you can kind of choose what you want to do. So lunch is included, but you don't have to have lunch in the lunchroom. So every day when we release you for Flex 40, we treat you like adults and we want you to manage your time. We give you 40 minutes to get your lunch and then go wherever the heck you want to go in the building. We have students that hang out in hallways, stairwells. They go to classrooms for certain things. There's all kinds of activities that are going to be happening as far as classrooms open, so the nest will be open. We'll have a quiet lunchroom if someone wants to go there. You can hang out in the VIP lounge, in the cafeteria. The studio will be open. Vince is going to have his room open for gamers. There's going to be all kinds of places for you to go and chill. So you'll have 40 minutes, and we just expect you to manage your time wisely and then get to class after that. We have a closed campus. That does not mean you can leave and come back for lunch. You can bring, the question was, can you order food? No, you can't. You can bring food from a restaurant in the morning. We hold it for you. You can have it for lunch. But you can't order pizza in your classroom now. Okay, here's more reasons or more ways we're different by design. So here's our school day, 8 to 3. I have lockers crossed off. We do not use lockers. You're not going to be given 8 textbooks and like have a bunch of stuff you need to be storing in the lockers. You can use your advisory space for that because you will all have your own little nook, your own little workspace that no one else uses. Kind of like a cubicle. Think about it as a work cubicle. You only use it. No one else does. Our transition times. We do not use bells or buzzers. Who thinks bells and buzzers are super annoying? Yeah, all of us. So we don't do that. We do things different. Remember, we're different by design. So we don't do that. You'll learn about when to come and go. We're a little flexible. We just expect you when you leave to do what you need to do and then get to your next class. So you'll learn more about transition time. Advisory and crew. We talked about advisory. We'll talk more about crew later. Service learning is way more than community service. It's about getting out in the community and learning things and doing leadership activities. So we'll talk more about service learning. We'll talk more about expert and going public. You should know with going public is there's an expectation at Dottke, you guys, that you go public in some way. And that means like sharing out to a group of people or your class or whatever about what you're doing and what you learned. And then the last thing is we are the only school in the district, so I should whisper this. We're the only school in the district that has an early release day on Wednesday. So don't tell your Hale or Central kids because they're going to be mad. But at 2 o'clock on Wednesdays, not today. Today's the only Wednesday we're here till 3. But every other Wednesday besides that, okay? So starting next week, Wednesdays at 2 o'clock, you'll get out. Staff need that time to meet and continue to build and create this very different by design school. So early release Wednesdays at 2. All right, we're getting close to the end. Okay, this is interesting. So you guys, this is the only time I'm going to be the more formal principal like expectation. Here's the cool thing. We trust you already. So you already have that. Now you just continue to keep that up, or if you do something not so awesome, then you lose some of that trust and you have to build it back. We have the same expectations that Hale or Central would have if you were going there. You have the student rights and responsibilities handbook that you signed. We expect you to be here every day, be on time, be respectful and kind to people, right? We expect you to be safe. We expect you to not bring anything to school that you shouldn't bring, okay? So we're chill and work with you guys on what you need, but there are certain non-negotiables, okay? If people are physical with each other, like a fight, or they threaten each other, or they bring a weapon, or they bring drugs, or they have some sexual contact, or do something really awful, you can be removed from our school. I don't say that threateningly, I say that in a way so you guys all understand. Because usually, every year, there's 1 or 2 people that we have to end up asking to go somewhere else. And I don't want any of you to be one of those 1 or 2 people. So just do the right things. We will trust you, but don't take advantage of that. All right, owning it goes right along with it. So you see these banners? Owning it at Dottke means that you are taking personal responsibility for yourself. And that's in 2 ways. The first is celebrating awesome stuff you do. When you do something awesome, it's because you did it, not because we did it for you. It's because you did it. So when we do awesome stuff, you own it. When we do not so awesome stuff, we also own it. At Dottke, we own it by talking through things and figuring out ways to repair the harm and restore some things. Okay, so that's how we do it at Dottke. You know what? So I'm going to hand it over now to Mr. Verzan. He's going to talk about scheduling. Because you guys all rolled in here without a schedule, and you're like, what does that mean? How come my Hale and Central friends have a schedule and I don't? We want you to be a part of every step of the way when it comes to creating your schedule.
Yeah, so it's probably important to just kind of start well, how is your day actually structured? So you guys, we operate on a block schedule, which means that classes are longer than they would be at Hale or Central, or even maybe where you came from, for middle school. The reason why we do that is because we want to try to give you as many opportunities to really pick and choose how you spend your day in general. And a block schedule allows us to do that. So, for example, you might be in a class like algebra, I might be in algebra first semester, but then not have a math class second semester. That's a legitimate possibility that you would have. So when we're talking about doing our schedules later today, you should really be thinking about well, do I want biology first semester, or do I want biology? Or do I want biology second semester? It's up to you as long as, as a freshman, you take the freshman level courses that you're supposed to take. And the reason why we do that is because as you grow into adulthood, you start high school as a young person and then you graduate as an adult, you have to be making those choices for yourself as you go kind of throughout life. And so we want you to be able to start making some of those decisions now. So we don't have a lot of leeway in like which classes you actually have to take to graduate high school. Does anybody know how many science classes you have to graduate high school? 3, good, somebody said it. Does anybody know how many English classes you have to have in order to graduate high school? Credits? 4, good, this kid knows 2. All right, good. The number of students that I have met throughout my career that don't understand that baffles me. Because it's really important, like if you want to be a high school graduate, to know how to become a high school graduate. You have to pass these certain numbers of courses. So part of the scheduling process is taking all of the classes that you have passed up to this point and tracking them so that you know like what you've passed and how many English credits you actually have and how many math credits you have and what order those would be important for you to take in. Like you shouldn't take Algebra 2 right before you take Algebra. That would be silly. That would be backwards. You shouldn't do that. I don't recommend it. So part of the scheduling process is going to be filling out your credit tracking sheet. That's a piece of, it's like basically like a spreadsheet that you can use to kind of keep track of which courses you've taken, what you passed, and then your crew teacher can help you kind of make some decisions based on that. Beyond that though, you have a lot of options, a lot of possibilities. And we want to make those possibilities really obvious and apparent to you. And so we post all of our courses on the website. So at Dottke.com, if you go to Dottke.com, / a day in Dottke, or you just click on a day in Dottke, you can see which seminars are offered and which courses are offered at which times during the day. So later on today, you're going to come down to the hub as a crew, and we are going to help you pick your own classes based on what credits you need, and really, more importantly though, like what you actually want to learn about, what you're interested in. So if Mr. Stolpe was talking about the death and dying class, and you think, oh man, that would be awesome to take that, like let's sign you up for that. Especially if you need a world history credit, let's make sure that we get rolling on that. But we're very excited to have you all here, and we really appreciate how attentive you've been over the last 40 minutes or so.
Thank you, Mr. Prezan.
All right, 2 more kind of announcements, and then we'll take some questions. Mr. T is going to talk about crew.
All right, all y'all. Hey, so you've been in crew. That's a little bit of what crew is about, how we start the day, that it's that group of people, that group of people are going to make sure that you feel comfortable. It's not just your crew teacher, it's like the whole group that like you're there for each other. And so you get to know each other. You don't have to be best buddies, but you just kind of get to know each other. So crew is something that we do every day as part of the schedule, but sometimes we do events. And I'm going to talk about our first crew challenge in a little bit, where you're going to compete in a friendly way against some other, the other crews on our first crew challenge. And so those are fun. Sometimes they're just a snap thing, where you just got to come up with a way to design it, and we try to change it up so that every crew has a chance to win. Some are maybe athletic feats of strength. No, not really. But maybe more athletic people might be better at it, whereas others are more crafty and artsy, and so maybe more the artsy people. Or that maybe you're both of those things. Who knows? You're just good at everything. So crew is an important part of what makes Dottke different. So make sure that you participate. I know sometimes we ask you to do things that are outside your comfort zone. I have found all the stuff that has made me grow the most and learn the most are the things that took me out of my comfort zone. Like, that's crazy, I don't want to do that, and I give it a try. And maybe I fail the first couple times, but then I figure it out. Okay, so we're trying to create an area where you can fail forward and figure things out. So a couple other things. Mr. Gals was talking about owning it and trust and responsibility. Actually, I'm really impressed. For a second there, I thought like there are a lot of people on their phones just kind of goofing off and doing the death scroll. Hey, you got to be present for what's going on here. Okay? I know that we don't jump on the phone thing real hard all the time like you might get at other schools. But when someone's talking to you about important stuff, give them your attention. You know, a lot of people are giving me good eye contact. Doesn't mean you have like burn hole through the back of my head, but, you know, pay attention to the person who's in front of you. That's the most important person that you are, you know, at that moment. It's not the text. Once in a while, or whatever, talk book, Insta, Snap, whatever you got going, that stuff, that's the death scroll, you know. You can look at that. I do that stuff too, but usually it's like the waste time. And the person in front of you isn't a waste of time. So make sure that you're giving them your attention. Mr. Berzan was talking about how you have to earn credits for certain things you have to do to graduate high school. It's not about showing up every day. You got to do stuff to earn the credits. Okay, so be present with what's